foundations of the earth are out of course, just as it is written in Psalm 82. So in verse 5 it says, "They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness, and the foundations of the earth are out of course." So it was a divine ruse, a divine trickery that I played upon humanity, especially the so-called godless scientific man who didn't really understand how things operate with bending light within the earth, with a central, for the most part, hidden octahedron in the center, which you can't see, but you can see it through radar imagery. The Canadian Meteor Orbit Radar. There's also orbit radars in New Zealand and Argentina, and they pick up this octahedron. And so, what he doesn't understand, Ken Wheeler is, even though I think he's a heliocentrist, he does make some good points about magnetism. And we have a giant magnet, an octahedral magnet, creating it's held up there by superconductivity, and what it is creating at the equator, at the celestial equator, as well as the earthly equator, because they're lined up together, is that there's what is called a dielectric inertial plane, and that dielectric inertial plane will create a lower pressure zone, and so objects circulating around the equator will orbit faster. The sun will orbit faster as opposed to orbiting around the tropic regions, Cancer, Capricorn. And so, because of that dielectric inertial plane creating a variance in velocity, heliotards won't even consider the fact that they've been duped and not realizing that the Earth is concave and there's a central foundational octahedron in the center. You can even pick that up with the equilibrium points, which are noted by NORAD. One at -104.7, -14.7, 75.3, 165.3, and so they're all at 90 degrees to each other. And so the satellites are orbiting inside the Earth. The continents are actually shaped based upon the foundational octahedron. You see how South America, the point. So I talked about this before. This is just really a refresher to bust these heliotards who are totally clueless, because their foundations of the Earth are out, of course. And so that's what we have going on here. We have the octahedron creating a variance in velocity when the sun is toward the tropic zones, or when it's toward the equator. And that variance of velocity is a real effect. It's not just a so-called equatorial location or axial tilt. There's no tilt of the Earth. And so it creates the actual variance in velocity of the sun, creating what we call the analemma. And so that analemma is going to create that figure 8 pattern based upon the observed, but also the real variant velocity of the sun, because the sun is orbiting around the celestial sphere, which is powered by a magnetic octahedron in the center, and it's creating different variances of velocity to the sun depending on whether you're at the tropic zones or the equator. And so that is what's really happening here. It's really just it's a divine deception based upon tricking mankind, especially scientific mankind, who doesn't even have a clue. Don't even consider before it's too late that light bends, you're inside the Earth is concave, that there's a glass sky, that there's ice attached to a glass sky. They can't figure out where meteors are coming from. And so that's what it's all about. And so I'm glad we're finally getting some opposition. This is wonderful. And so it's educational for these heliotards to really understand that they have been duped. They're fools. And so there you go. Variance of velocity is truly the case because of the dielectric inertial plane in the center creating the variance of velocity, creating the sun, causing the sun to speed up toward the equator and to slow down toward the tropic regions. And so it pretty much, not entirely, but it pretty much equalizes the velocity of the sun, having them think that the Earth is tilted and spinning No, no, regardless of their stupidity, all people of the earth will know that the earth is mine, and just as the waters cover the sea, it's mentioned in Scripture, as the waters cover the sea, the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the Lord, Stephen Christ. And so that's coming really soon. Oh, there's the bell. Gotta go. So thanks for watching. Oh yeah, it's that glass sky that'll get heliotards all the time. They won't realize that light is bending, but it's also creating a trick of the eye because there is glass in the heavens. That's why we have so-called gravitational lensing, which is actually just real glass lensing. There are glass spheres that are surrounding the celestial sphere, which create a bulge over the sun, which actually displace the stars during eclipses. And so it also equalizes the angular diameter of the sun as it traverses around the celestial sphere from different latitudes. And so that's what heliotards really fail to understand. This is really just a fresher up for people who haven't seen my work before in the past. And it's kind of good. We're getting some opposition from a heliotard who doesn't understand that he has been duped, that his foundations of the earth, which are octahedral, are out, of course, and that there's glass in the sky that equalizes the angular diameter of the sun. And so I'll put links to these videos in the description box, but also to understand that what we have here is we have a magnetic octahedron that acts as a resonant absorptive antenna, which has a dipole effect. And so from the ground, that light is going to be bending upwards. This is also can be proven with theodolites. If you take a theodolite and point it in 4 cardinal directions, 90 degrees to each other, you'll get different readings. That's why they don't like to do that, because light is bending depending upon which direction you're facing. It will bend more when you're facing the sun. And so we have a trick. We have a divine trick that tripped up the heliotards. And so what it does is it projects a dome-like structure over your head. Obviously you don't see the octahedron, but that's what's happening here with the bending light and the glass skies. And so in the past, what I did was I called this one Fusion of the Cave, and I projected an image of Earth on the inside of the sphere, and then at the very center I have a celestial sphere with a projected map of the stars. And what you don't see here, because it's invisible, is that there are invisible glass spheres. And so the glass is creating a refraction effect as well as the bending of light. And so what it's doing is it's fooling the individual, thinking that you're living either on a dome or on a flat plane, but you're actually not, because of the curved light and because of the refraction involved. And what you can do, when I turn on the refraction of that glass sphere that you didn't see before, it inverts the sky. And so it creates this illusion that you think that you're living on a sphere or on something, but actually you're living inside of it. So that's with it off, that's with it on. And so whatever latitude you're at, even if you're at the North Pole or the South Pole, it's going to mimic, or it's going to give you the illusion that you're on something and that the sun is above something that you think that you are on. And so it's going to create the North Celestial Pole and the South Celestial Pole, and they're going to be moving in the correct positions that you see them. And so let me go back, move forward here to, let's go to the South Pole, because that's what this heliotard was talking about. He was thinking that the position of the sun would be at a different altitude from the South Pole during the time when the sun was at the Tropic of Capricorn. But that's not what's happening. Because of the bending of light, because of the glass sky, I could mimic this in 3D now. And now in 3D you cannot really replicate bending light, but you can attempt to, and it gives you a pretty good estimation as to the way it would work like that. And so that's what I'm doing here. Let's see, at the South Pole, it's way over here at the end over here. And so it creates that illusion. If you're looking straight up, you see a clockwise direction of the southern celestial pole like that. And you see these lines here. You have 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, you have 0. So that would be if the sun was orbiting around at the equator, it would be at the 0 degree mark like that. But if it was during the Tropic of Capricorn, we have the 23.5 degree mark right over here. And so that gives you a good understanding, a good estimation as to how that really works like that. You always see the front of the sun. The sun is a half sphere. As I mentioned before, I've seen this in hypnagogic vision. And from whatever vantage point you are in the earth, you're always looking toward the front of the sun. That's how the SDO works. I made a video about the SDO as well. And the other so-called satellites, the stereo A and the stereo B, are fictitious. They're a complete lie, and I busted that before as well. But the SDO will give you good understanding because of the bending of the light. Whenever you're looking toward the sun, the light is always hitting the celestial sphere perpendicularly. And so it gives you the illusion that you're looking at the front side of it all the time. You never see the back side of the sun from the earth. There's my midnight sun, concave earth understanding. But it really has to do with glass skies. Glass skies are inverting your perception and equalizing. They're equalizing the angular size of celestial objects like the sun and the moon. And that's what heliotards neglect to understand, what is going on here. The glass sky, I mean, that's the reason why we have coma aberration in the first place. Comets projecting their tails like that and splitting up like that with a birefringent quality. It's called coma aberration. It's a real photographic effect. It's because we have glass in us. So that's what you need to understand. And because of the refraction of the glass and the bending of the light, I can actually replicate the exact position of the sun as how it appears in real life. And so this is great. This is version 2.1. I'm glad he brought it up. What's his name? Stargazer or something like that. But that's what's going on here. So what we observe in the sky is a ruse, a trick, a play upon humanity. It's all because humans don't have their foundations set correctly, and they don't see, for the most part, the central octahedron and the curved light and the glass. I mean, sprites. I mean, meteors. Where are they coming from? And so there you go. So it creates that effect. The refraction of the glass creates that effect. It equalizes the angular diameter of the sun, the moon, and it also creates the effect of you thinking that you're living on something and the sky above you is outside or above and away from you, but it's not. So that's what's going on, guys. Thanks for watching.
Okay, guess what? In the YouTube opposition net has been deleting and suppressing my videos because it's the truth and it's going to completely destroy the entire economic system as we know it. They've taken down 6 of my channels, counting so far. They just took down Travis's The Incredible Craze channel. They're scared, you know. Initially they make fun of me, then now they violently oppose me, and 3 is going to be self-evident really soon. You're all living inside the concavity of my earth, and it has to do the video that I had to re-fucking do because I cannot find it anymore. I cannot find it on my computer or whatever. Is the one where I explained to you in 3D with straight light, it does not fucking work on a convex tarred ball Earth, because you would get Australia and Great Britain illuminated in sunshine simultaneously. SunCalc shows that you get the sun, you get early morning sun in Eastern Australia, and you get evening sun in Great Britain simultaneously. It does not work if you were on the top of a convex ball and light were straight and the sun was fucking 93 million miles away and you were just shooting straight light. I'll show you that in 3D in a minute, where it doesn't fucking work. It just doesn't work. And also too, what they deleted was my Himwary 8 research showing that when the sun is going across the equator during the equinox time, whether it's September 23rd or March 20th or something like that, you are only going to get 40 freaking minutes of darkness, and that is not enough. I show you in 3D where you get 130 more, or 130 frames of darkness, as opposed to 40 minutes. So that too is showing you cannot make it work, heliotards, and they're scared shitless. All their fucking operations is going down fucking tubes, and I don't mind. Yeah, it's iron sharpening iron. You know, okay, I got to remake some of this shit, but it's just polishing my presentation. So you heliotards are fucking busted. So in Illustrator here, I had to redo this really quick. You're looking top down. You see the octahedron in the center over there, and what you see on the left there is the sun over here. Sun is only half, pretty much half, a little bit more than half of a sphere. It's not a sphere. It's the backside is dark and flat. I saw this in the hypnagogic vision, and what is happening there is the sun was formulated due to the fact there are primer fields in the center of heaven. Primer fields. If you study Dave LaPointe, you would understand primer fields, how they create this magnetic activity. However it's working, we have, that's where the push is coming from. That's where the ether is coming from. That's what is holding us to the ground, is pushing us, is pushing outward. And so we have a return. Heliotards can't even fucking give you a return to the fucking sun. They see these magnetic field lines that's emanating out on both sides, kind of like two symmetrical onions, but they can't fucking understand where the return lines are coming, because when you get magnetic field lines, we show in a bar magnet, it has a fucking return. It doesn't have a fucking return with their fucking heliotardic dumbass explanation with straight lights. They have to conclude, oh, for like 4.5 billion years, the sunlight is somehow, we don't see it returning, but it's somehow returning. No, you fucking idiots. The fact of the matter is you only see the front of the sun and the back side of the sun. That's where the return happens. So it's a complete loop. It's a complete fucking circuit. So with my artwork here, I show you. Okay, we have the octahedron in the center. We have the primer field in the center. We have a small celestial sphere with a dark black line, and it's made out of glass. It's darkened, and there's a seam halfway splitting it. It's bifurcating the fucking celestial sphere into two, and that's called the Milky Way. It's not no fucking dumbass, retarded spiral galaxy. Never mind. Anyway. It allows the cosmic rays to penetrate through, and that's how we get the cosmic rays emanating from the northern apex of the octahedron. They will not tell you that, but that's the truth, and it's actually accelerating in the area between the second glass sphere, which surrounds the sun and the planets, and the third glass sphere, which surrounds the moon. It's accelerating because it's like a Dewar effect. There's very little area. It's like an extremely high vacuum in that area over there, and then it hits the ground like that. There's also this magnetism around these two glasses. When the sun is emanating out like that, it's bending out like that, and it's creating the 22nd degree halo at a specific angle of incidence as it goes through that, and it's also that same angle of incidence is going to be hitting the moon glass sphere and creating the 46 degree halo. The moon glass sphere is a negative refractive glass with phase conjugation and wave coherence, which means that it's going to give you the exact opposite effect. When the moon appears big in the sky, the heliotards will tell you, well, that's a perigee, and when it's small, they will tell you it's an apogee, but it's the exact reverse. With negative refraction in 3D, I showed you before. I'll have to look for that one video again if I don't have it. It's the exact opposite. When the moon is closer to the Earth, it appears smaller. And conversely, when it is further away from the Earth, it appears bigger. And it moves faster. And the libration is happening because they have this centripetal force affecting it. So we get it tilting like 8 degrees or however many degrees in each direction. But when it's faster, it's turning that way toward, we see more of the, if we were looking at the moon, we would see more of the eastern side, I believe. Actually, it's the western side. We'd see more of the western side. No, the eastern side. So, keeping that in mind, with the straight line heliotardistic understanding of things, you're getting, like I said before, you're getting Australia and Great Britain simultaneously bathed in light. And they are more than 180 degrees away from longitudinal degrees away from each other. So we have at the top there, I have United Kingdom, and the Terminator begins to bend up like that. I could probably move it. Yeah, these are just estimates, but this is roughly what we're talking about. The terminator, that's what's happening. There is a terminator. It's causing it to bend up like that. So that's why the shadows will rise on very high skyscrapers in the evening like that, because the terminator is bending up around like that. And then the bottom over here, we have Australia, and that we're getting morning time in Australia. I can even move the terminator there, move it right over there like that. Okay, so we get Australia and Great Britain, and they're like about 216 degrees longitudinal degrees, roughly way more than 180. So we're getting it like that over there, like that. And so that's the only way it's working, is because the light is actually bending, creating the terminator, and then it's wrapping around, and then it's coming back and converging, and it's returning. And we see the darkness funnel. That's what causes the lunar eclipses. Do you understand? It's not the shadow of a fucking heliotard dumbass Earth. So if I could even just put it right now, I could put a moon on this side over here. Let's flip that around like that. And you'll notice that when the moon goes over that area, if it's directly latitudinally, or the declination of the moon is over that shadow, that darkness funnel, that's how we get a full moon. However, when it goes through that darkness funnel, that's when it gets eclipsed like that. That's all I showed. I even showed you how we're getting the reddening of the moon, because the red light that's bending around, it doesn't bend as sharply as the other lights. It's all completely resolved, 100% resolved. This is how it works. There's a quadrupole at the octahedron. It has pillars. I showed you that before, how tides work. No other explanation possible to tell you how tides are working. To tell you how the opposite side of Earth, if you're in an apparent fucking heliotardation universe with the moon being 237,000 miles away, and it just happens to be, this quarter-sized object, 2,000 versus 8,000 of the Earth, it's that far away, it's pulling the complete Earth and the water in front of the Earth, on the moon side of the Earth, even more, but it's leaving the water on the rear side of the Earth behind. Total fucking asinine bullshit! So anyway, here we go. That's how it's working, and I'm going to show you in 3D where the Himawari 8 footage is not giving you enough darkness during the equinox time. You hear me, you fucking piece of shit, Elon Musk? You fucking bastards. When I am in charge, I'm gonna fucking chop your heads off. I'm gonna put you in a fucking guillotine unless you fucking repent. All of you motherfuckers. You want Lord? I'll give you fucking Lord! Motherfuckers. Okay, I'm redoing this video to help a heliotard. I was just commenting with him on the cellular cosmology video that my good friend, whoever he is, re-uploaded my content. And a lot of people, they have been desperately trying to delete my channels, my followers' channels, and so I'm just going to keep doing it until you get it. And the heliotards are cursed. I'm taking down the whole system. So anyway, what I was trying to explain to the heliotard was that you cannot simultaneously see Australia and Great Britain if light were straight and Earth were convex and the sun was 93 million miles away. Okay, you see it right over there in the top there? That's Great Britain right there. Way over there. Just starting to get sun down. The sun is going down in Britain. Oh, look. Look at that. The sun is like a couple hours away from Australia. Oh, it doesn't work, does it? No. It doesn't work. Heliotard. You'd have to move this. Okay, see? I go like that. But that's what we observe. Look at suncalc.org. You get morning time in Eastern Australia and evening time in Great Britain, but it's at least a couple hours away. If you watch my Himawari 8 footage, you would notice that during the equinox, we don't get enough darkness. No, if I did it in 3D, if light were straight, you'd get at least an hour and a half more darkness than what is observed Doesn't work. Busted. You know, so I really mentioned, I don't want him to kill himself, but if he doesn't repent, he really should think about doing that. His name is, what's your name? Let me find out what your name is. I think his name was like Jason or something like that. Alex Cameron. Alex, you're a heliotard. Okay. Okay, next I'm redoing what I did before. Now listen up, guys. If you had downloaded this, I did this about a couple years ago. I showed how the Himawari 8 footage that they show you is not giving you enough darkness. It's not. So I reconstructed it in 3D with the sun supposedly 93 million miles away with straight light, and showing how there's a big discrepancy with light. You would see a lot more darkness than what we observe. They say that we're getting a picture every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, okay? So if I go into their stupid bullshit real-time viewer, now what at the time of the equinox, the spring equinox, March 20th, okay? So I go ahead and I just fast forward to frames here. Right now I'm going to go back one frame at 920. Let's go back another frame. There, you see that little edge there, that illumination on the left-hand side? Well, they want you to believe that the sun is going behind the Earth. No, the sun is going inside. It's orbiting around the inside of the Earth with the bending of the light. This is no way. They're not gonna. These fuckers are not gonna get away with this shit, guys. Okay. I also did more Himawari proofs showing the discrepancies with a straight light bullshit distant sun. Okay, it has to do with the fact that the curvature of the light, we see the sunlight flaring out at the horizon. Sunrise to sunset, we see it flaring out on the sides like that. That's only possible if the illumination is illuminating the inside concave surface with the bending of the light. In other words, when the sun is in the center, it would... If you were on a convex ball, the sunlight would appear to be at its largest, the illumination of the sun, but it's not. It's the exact inverse opposite. We see it flaring out at the edges. But anyway, I'm going to show you how it's major big fault discrepancy. They're fucking running in their fucking shoes. They better not have fucking killed Richard Cohen. NASA, I'm talking about. They're fucking dead meat. When I'm in charge, I'm going to fucking chop all their fucking heads off. Okay, anyway, going over here, I show you... Why is it down like that? Why the fuck is it down like that? Get the fuck back up. Okay, there we go. Alright, you see the illumination on the left side. It's at 9:10, okay? So I'm going to advance it one frame, which is 10 minutes. 9:20, we don't... See, I'm gonna boost up the contrast on the screen so you can see it. You can actually still see a faint little crisp little left-handed side illumination. Okay, 9:20, 9:30. Okay, now we see complete darkness. 9:40. Oh, no image. I wonder why no image. But you know what? I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say no illumination for 9:40. 9:50, no illumination. 9:60, there it is. You see it right there. 10 o'clock. We see illumination right there. So we have 1 at 9:50, 2 at 9:40, 3 at 9:30. We don't even have 4. You see that 9:20? You're still. I'm going to boost up the contrast so you can see what I'm talking about here. We don't even have 40 minutes. Let's give them 35 minutes now, okay? Now let's go into Lightwave 3D, and lo and behold, I do it again, and you know what? I get more than 13 frames. It's like 14, almost 14. Anyway, a stupid convex ball Earth. A distant light source, 93 million miles away. Cameras at 26,000 miles away, like they say. 22 plus 4, half the radius of Earth. Okay, so I go to frame 65, 66. 66, no, I don't see any Earth anymore. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 14 so 10 minutes per frame for 140 minutes. So 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's what you would get if Earth was truly convex, spinning, sun distant, light was straight. That's what you get. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to hide my content. They're violently opposed right now, and they're going to go down real soon. So download this video too. Download all my videos and get ready to re-up them, because we're going to destroy the whole world as we know it with your help. Thank you, guys.